This man has never knocked nobody out cold. He's a bully. He's slow. He has no skill, no footwork. He's awkward. And I have been giving him a name. Because he fights. When he's fighting, if you ever watch him in the ring, he drags like that after his opponent. And how's the mummy gonna catch me?
And all I had to do was to go out and beat a man who had no skill, no class. Seriously, the man had no skill. I don't know why the world is so foolish to believe in him and think that I wasn't gonna win.
Well, when you say you're ready to go to war right now...
I see that guy on the street, I beat him before the fight.
You'd actually take him on before the fight?
Beat him like I'm his daddy.
Basketball players out there, football players, they want to beat so bad, they want to get everybody. I'll go to Mars, I don't care.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, let's get ready to rumble!
Good morning, people. Happy Sunday. And after a fresh day of debates that we just had, time for episode 4 of Debunked, where we again talk about general things such as specifically bad takes and debunk them again for your general amusement and higher learning purposes. Okay, so we expect to be joined here shortly by none other than Mr. King Speech Row himself. And as you can see today, we're going to be talking about maybe something that we've and many others have covered in the distant past recently. So, but we want to do a little bit more thoroughly here today, where we actually discuss and cover what does it mean to have a criteria? What is a criteria? Okay. And what is it? So you hear that throwing around, you hear people's top to the ranked players. It doesn't even have to be NBA. It can be football, baseball, whatever sport you're talking about, but specifically in the league, right? We hear everyone's lists, right? Top 5, top 10, top 15, whatever the case is, we hear them talking about it. But when you, a lot of times when you actually help ask them to justify it, you don't get any kind of an answer from them, right? They want to go and talk about, things that don't really matter when you're talking about comparing players head to head or, resume criteria, it's just really inconsistent. So today we want to try to get to a point where we can say, this is what a true criteria looks like. What are your criteria? I give you mine, but I definitely want to have a little bit more participation this time. And we're going to do some Q&A from the chat also. So everyone has a chance to give me their take on what they think a good criteria is, what maybe bad takes they've heard as far as people trying to justify some, their top 5, top 10 list to them. And we'll go from there, okay? And there he is, the man himself, Mr. Rowe. How you doing today?
Hey, what's up, people? What's up, audience? Yeah, I like this topic. It's one of them topics where when I've been listening to some of you guys, debating, and some of you guys, I'm talking about general public. The criteria and the way you judge people, the way you judge certain aspects of the game, it's a lot of inconsistencies there, so. I've seen some crazy debates. I was told that Russell Westbrook is not a great playmaker despite his four assist titles. I mean, yeah. So, and how was it justified? Well, LeBron and James Harden, they were better playmakers. Mind you, the guy at the beginning, at the beginning of his argument was trying to justify that Steph Curry was a better playmaker than Russell Westbrook. So he brought up LeBron and James Harden. Does that make sense, Travis?
No, and I mean, really, the only time I've really heard that narrative of where, for example, Westbrook's a terrible playmaker is when they're trying to push the narrative that that 2022 Lakers team had no business having any success, right? And Russell was the fall guy.
Yeah, and that was Russell's worst this season. As a starter, probably since his first few years, that OKC broke through. After that, he still playmaking. He's this guy, and I get playmaking is not just getting assists, stuff like that. But Justin, that's just one example. That's just one example. I mean, telling me that Tim Duncan is a better rebounder than Charles Barkley or even a Dennis Rodman when Tim Duncan never led the league in rebound. I mean, things like that it's just the way people. It's just like I would say this. You use numbers for one thing, prove certain points, and then you don't apply those same standards across the board. I think that's where people get. And again, everybody has bias. I have my own bias, right? But like, if somebody was like, say, Magic Johnson, the greatest passer of all time, am I gonna sit there and say John Stockton wasn't a great playmaker like Magic, or on the offer with Magic? I understand they were different type of passers and different type of playmakers, but John Stockton is definitely up there, right? That's just one example, So it's just, I think, when you go between the eyeball and the stats, and you must have a healthy dose of eyeball and stats in your narratives. Then you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, just be consistent with it, because otherwise you can get your debates and your talking points chopped up really well.
No, exactly. And I mean, I think that's really one of the whole points is that if you have something that you've told people or that you yourself use to rank players themselves, I mean, then the important thing is just be consistent with it. You're like, can you apply that to every one on your list? Can you use it when you're debating with someone? Can you back it up with fact? Like, is it quantifiable? Things like that. And I've always said that as long as someone has a consistency across the board when they're talking basketball, football, whatever the case is, then I've never been one to say, you know what, that's trash, that's garbage. I won't attack it. It might not be the same as me, what I use, but as long as someone has crafted a list and is consistent, and they apply it, then that's fine. Leave them alone. But like that brings a question like, hey, what are you using? And a lot of players or a lot of people, and I'm sure you've met it done. We've talked about it. We've talked to a lot of them throughout the years. They really don't have that consistency, right? It's like one or two players, and they use certain reasons, but they can't use that for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It really just evaporates.
One like, so I have Larry Joe Bird right outside the top 5, right? He's my number 6. Again, my the only change I've made to my top 10 recently is putting Akeem above Shaq. It was really, I think, shout out to Woodage and shout out to Swish, who crazy guy, did make me remember, or actually Woodage, I didn't realize that Shaq got swept 7 times. So now, if I'm looking at that, right, because the one thing I always put over him was the dominance of having a three-peat versus just that back-to-back, even though Akeem made Shaq a victim of him during his back-to-back, right? But then later on, for him to go three-peat with Kobe, of course, I want to get into that later, too, the teammate tax thing. Oh, my God. Teammate tax is the worst thing you can do. I mean, I really think teammate tax is absolutely stupid. But we'll get into that, right? But the fact that Shaq was swept 7 times in the playoffs, like, if you're a dominant force, and mind you, he was swept 7 times in the heart of his career. It wasn't like old Phoenix, right, or playing with LeBron as an old guy. No, he didn't get swept then. He got swept as Shaq Attack, as the Diesel, as the Big Aristotle. He got swept 7 times. I mean, again, you got swept when the opposing center is Greg Ostertag. So that's one of the things that one of the reasons why I tag Shaq. But with Larry Joe, right, and I have Larry Joe right at Kobe and right ahead of LeBron. Well, again, I tax all-time greats for missing playoffs. Like, especially when you play in basically most of the leagues, you can't be a top half team. It's pretty much what you need to do to be a playoffs. I mean, to make the playoffs in the NBA and pretty much every era. I don't think there was any part of the NBA where less than 50% of the teams qualify for the playoffs. Well, that's a tax that I'm going to give you. Hey, well, it was another look, Kobe. Again, all you ask for to make the playoffs every year is to be a top half team, and I think that's what a great should do. So even Larry Bird, this season where he played like 8 games, the Celtics were 42-20, 42-40. I mean, and they made the playoffs. But you could see not having Larry hurt the Celtics, but they were still good enough to make the playoffs, and he was still good enough to contribute in the playoffs when I guess he was reasonably healthy, right? But again, with the bad back, the last 3 years of his career, he made the playoffs. So to me, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna if I think their peak and apex of their careers was somewhat on the same par, then I'm gonna tax you for not making a playoff.
That's fair. And I mean, we got that. But hey, Dart has joined us. How's it going today, Dart?
I'm doing good.
There you go.
Hello. I have to start doing some homework for my job sometime soon. But I saw the topic on here, and I see the streamer. Is the question? Is there a perfect criteria? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, it's really just we raise the question: is there criteria that maybe everyone can relate to? But mainly also, we're just trying to say, more than perfect. Is there maybe like a consistent criteria that we can arrive at, right? And like we're just kind of breaking down some of the bad takes we've heard, but more than likely sharing our criteria and just for what's yours.
Yeah, so I guess I'll start with what my criteria is, and then I'll follow up with what I think about it. But my criteria is based off of dominance across your icon, the stuff that I always bring up in debates, how iconic you were, what type of awards you've won, what you do off the court, how did you influence the game of basketball, how much did you win, how much impact did you have on your teams, and then also a lot of the stats-based stuff. How dominant were you? And that goes across all of these aspects, and particularly across all time, because once you start getting past the best stuff per year, when you're in 80 years of the NBA, then you have to go to a second level, and you have to do a little bit more research. And when you start talking about the third best guys, or you start talking about teams that lost in the semifinals, but they had 60 wins or whatever, like those Atlanta Hawk teams that where everyone was an all-star more or less. Teams like that, those teams are going to be forgotten about in 20, 30 years. Some people that forgot about them now. So I think really the dominance of a player really stands the test of time in comparison to somebody who was second or third in something. It's not to say that it's not impressive. If you want to go to that second or third level of analysis, that's great. But I do not think that the second or third guy, in respect to any of these things, matters to me. Now to talk about criteria. Is there a perfect criteria? No. And candidly, I think criteria is just something you should use for yourself to stay consistent. Like, I don't think that my criteria is any better than anyone else's, even if And if you don't want to be consistent, that's fine too. If you just want to be a fan of the game and you say that LeBron James or Michael Jordan's the greatest of all time, then that's fine to me. I don't care if somebody has a criteria or not. Now, if you want to make an argument, you need to have something to base your argument off of. So past that, if you want to have an actual argument, or unless you just want to talk crap, if you're just talking crap, you don't need a criteria. But otherwise, yeah, I think the whole criteria, whole conversation and circles that we run around, I think is a little overblown. I don't think it's that serious.
Yeah.
There you go. I think. Look. Let me just answer real quick. I don't think there's a perfect criteria. I think the best criterias have more consistency, less bias. So everybody's going to have about at least 10% bias on a certain player. If you have 90% consistency, and that's a really good criteria. And again, I don't even have. It's not a criteria for me. It's a process, because for me to already rank you as an all-time great, I think you have an argument to even be the GOAT. But then the question is how I have a process of separating guys to actually rank them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. What's your take here, Is? Thanks for joining. Mr. Ismail, how's it going today?
Hey, what's up? Hey, everybody. My take on criterias.
Yes, sir.
I think most people don't really have one until it kind of gets. They don't really have one until it gets exposed for what they don't want it to be, or if it
most people have bias. We all have bias. Most people have a lot of bias.
Well, I mean, it depends on what your bias is. If it's if it produces evidence that makes sense. If I say Michael Jordan's the greatest scorer of all time because he has the highest points per game average, then you would say that I go off a high points per game average, who's the greatest scorer of all time. So that kind of would that's the biases there. The biases should be some evidence point to what you're making of your claim, right? And so, I mean, some people say Kobe Bryant is the greatest scorer of all time without any evidence to support it. They just say it's skills. That's incredibly biased. That's really that's opinionated without backing anything up. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So,
all right. Yeah. Let me jump in real quick. Right. Okay. Here's one fact you can use. Right. You say no evidence. The year Kobe Bryant scored 81 points, right, against Toronto.
Okay.
There were 40 games. Well, teams had 40 games where they did not get to 80 points that season. So Kobe Bryant in one game outscored 40 different NBA teams. That's just one. Understand what I'm saying? That's just one piece of evidence that could say, wow. I mean, I don't even think Wilt Chamberlain, when he scored 100, if you think they were 40 teams, well, first of all, you played less games, so that's not fair. But even if it was 10 to 20, because being the pace, for 20 teams not to score 100 the year he scored 100, that's kind of crazy. Because remember, he scored 81 in a dead ball era. They look at the mid 2000s, the early mid 2000s.
Who would be number two? Who's number two then, based off that logic? Who is number two?
Well, again, see, I don't think Kobe's the greatest scorer of all time. I'm just using
you made an argument. I didn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I made a devil. Hold on, sir. I made a devil's advocate argument. See again. Here we go. No. Yeah, Dart is really biased for George Mikan. We know this. But no, I made a devil's advocate argument to support a claim. You know what I'm saying? That's not my claim. But I'm just going to say, if I had to see, you got to understand, right? If we can use facts of evidence to support certain claims, okay, I'm just going to find out one, like that was pointed out to me, that 40 NBA teams did not reach 80 that season. So that is just one, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that Kobe is the greatest scorer. I'm just saying if I was to make that argument, then that would be one piece of evidence that I could use. Hey, in a dead ball era where it was hard to score, Kobe dropped 81 on an NBA team. So, again, this is where it's fun in having debates because you can go a lot of places with it, and you can just use facts and statistics to support claims. You know what I mean? It's not that doesn't make it foolproof or counter it.
Really, I don't think that. I see what you're trying to say, but I don't think that really supports a stronger argument. I mean, why Kobe?
It doesn't hurt it. Hold on. It doesn't hurt the argument. That now does it?
I think that. I forgot. It's got to be some type of fallacy. Yes, that does hurt the argument. Like it's like.
I think we
you have to be incredibly nitpicking. Like you have to incredibly nitpick. You have to nitpick so much, like to create something like that. To say because.
Can we get a row-ish debate on that? Like who the greatest scorer of all time?
It's already I think. Look, I even want to debate pro LeBron one of these days, bro. I wanted to understand that I'm a pure debater and not just a biased guy. I actually want to make a debate for LeBron on one of these days. But just to like, I think the best debaters go by what they believe, right? Yeah. And I mean,
well, not to get too far off topic here, but like I think I understand what you guys are saying. Like what Ishmael said is I like what Ishmael said about how there's a certain degree of bias and everything, but like I said before, as long as someone comes up and says, and I've said this before, I said this to King John all the time. I said, as long as you have a consistent, I don't care what your bias is, as long as you can apply it to every person on your list, that's fine. I'll never attack it. Like I said, I used to disagree with like when me and Dark would talk, very beginning, we would talk about our separate criteria. I was like, I don't like yours, but I respected it because he was able to apply it throughout whatever list, we were talking about. And then, I was like, you know what? I took a step back and I'm like, a lot of people that I've talked to have done that same thing. I've just disagreed with, things we're saying, but that doesn't give me the right to invalidate it, right? Because some of my things that I say might be, questionable to them. And, like, hey, the greatest scorer, right? That is a loaded question that has so many different answers, right? Like, obviously, you can make an easy case for LeBron, right? Easy case for Will. Easy case for Mike. Hell, Kobe, whatever the case. But, as long as it's consistent, we can have those talks all day.
Yes, I got a question. George Mike. Yes, I got a question. How, if I brought up the Kobe point, right? The 80 points, 40 teams didn't score 80 points that season for the entire game as a team. How would you counter that? Just so, like,
what's your assertion?
So the assertion is Kobe's one of the greatest scorers of all time, and I'm not. That's just one instance. Kobe had like the most 40-point games in a row, or the most 30-point games in a row, something like that. So
if I was arguing against that, I would just be like, okay, I mean, I would say if you were trying to say he's one of the greatest, I don't think there's an argument against that. Or if he's not, or the greatest, I would say, okay, cool, like 81-point game. He took 46 shots. That was like 30% higher than the leading shot taker that season, which was also him, like for an average game. I mean, he was.
You're not going to score 81 taking 30 shots. I mean, unless it's all threes, right? Unless you go 27 for 33 and no free throws.
No, he was efficient. Like obviously, he went to the line 18 times, but that's him. I liked his performance against the Mavericks like a couple weeks before that better than 81-point game, personally.
I think that's kind of insane, like cherry picking, because when you make a claim somebody's the greatest, that to me that's an understanding. I understand from your understanding that's what it takes to be the title of something. So that makes it somebody has to score an insane amount of points in the game while 4 other teams haven't made it. So if somebody scores 200 points today and no other team reached 200 points, 4 other teams don't reach 200 points, then that makes them the greatest scorer of all time. That's just like here's
what the separation is, right? Look, is any basketball game ever been won by a single shot made? Like, unless it's one of these 5-year-old games where the final score is 2-0, right?
Yeah,
That's just one point. That's just one basket. That's like a dunk, but that's like a 4-point play or something, right? But a 4-point play ain't gonna win a game. You got to score other points. So that's just one point that I'm using in the debate. All I'm saying is that's, you know what I'm saying? That's not going to slam dunk the case that Kobe is the greatest scorer of all time. That's just one anecdote that I'm using to help support the fact.
You're using second or third level kind of analysis where for me, I try to use those ones that just hit, as the kids say, just those bangers, like, okay, scoring titles. Do you want to talk totals? And like, to me, when you start going into that next level stuff, yeah, it matters. But unless you're a Kobe fan and you're doing research on Kobe, nobody's going to know that he outscored 40. To me, I think in arguments, if you're like, yeah, bang, 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 until you start splitting hairs.
That's like an icing on the cake type of thing. Like when I think of championships, that's just to add a little oomph to it. You know what I mean? That doesn't.
It's one point in an overall argument. You got to make multiple points.
The focus of the argument, in my opinion, should be like what is easily understood. You know what I mean? Like what should be like. How do I describe this? You know what I mean? Because all I can say, that's just insane cherry picking. Like, if you want to say that, did you know that Kobe did this as well as being part of being the greatest scorer of all time? Like I said, if you want to say Michael Jordan scored 40 points in an NBA final series, right? That's like the small ingredient to like the entire recipe. You know what I mean?
Well, the difference is saying that Michael Jordan had the highest points per game in playoff history in a series. Like, that's more oomph than saying, oh, he had 40 points. Like, saying 40 points is just
detail. I know. I understand that, but it's even better when you say Michael Jordan owns the record for the highest scoring average in the playoff history. And that's better than even saying just a series. I'm just saying like, or even the example, he scored 69 points in a playoff game. Why would I use that?
Shout out to the chat really fast. I'm trying to drop the link in here, but it says, I keep getting an error message that says YouTube rejected this. So I'm not sure why it is being hostile towards my attempts here to drop the link. So just a shout out to the chat. I'm not ignoring your request here. There it goes. Not sure why that happened. But great. I would say great job. So
Ro needs to drop the link on his channel because we don't post to his channel through StreamYard.
Yeah, do that if you can, Ro. Drop the link because some people are asking for. But as far as that goes, you guys are right. I think there's a ton of, like you say, a ton of ways to do it. There's ample evidence for every player. Like with Kobe, I mean, I used this in a debate a couple months ago, right? I said Kobe's one of only 3 players to lead an entire decade in points per game and total points scored, right? That alone makes him, I think, objectively one of the greatest. You know, the only other 2 players were what? Kareem and Wilt, and they are 100% top 5 scorers of all time. But, you know, there's just so much direction you can go.
See, again, Kobe, look, listen, Kobe being the greatest scorer of all time is a bias. It's an opinion, right? The facts and figures that you would use to support that are something that you need to put in your debate speech, right? So, I just use one arbitrary point to kind of support that. And again, it's not going to slam dunk the case home. I don't think Kobe's the greatest scorer of all time, personally. But if I was making that argument, these are one of the things that I might use. You understand what I'm saying? How many scoring records? You know, things like, I mean, and again, then I'm going to look at the actual ability or the ability to create offense or to create scoring opportunity. How tough was it to score? Whatever. Things like that. How creative are you? Things like that. I'm going to use different things. Again, I don't think Kobe's the greatest scorer. I think damn sure one of them definitely. Put it this way: if I'm gonna easily make the argument he's a top 5, and that's one of the points. That's one of the points that I would use. Now, to rebut that or to like spread that out. Oh, well, that doesn't really mean something. Okay, well, good luck doing that. You know what I'm saying? But again, there's a lot of other things. That 40-point scoring, I think he had 5 straight games of 40 points, and things like that, especially in that era. Remember, there's a lot.
Mr. DLB.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good.
Awesome. Give us your take on what do you think your good criteria is? What's a bad one? Maybe who your greatest scorer of all time is.
I think if you are constantly scoring the basket with a move that no one can defend, in my opinion, that makes you more of a greater scorer than, let's say, you just going in for a layup or getting cherry picking dunks and all that sort.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah, I mean you see a lot of like that goes into like the skill debate, right? The skill conversation where you have so many players who are just, they're not 360 pounds, 7 feet tall. They can't just bully the way to the basket, right? They have to have that exquisite footwork. They have to have, great touch on their shots. You have the Kobe's, you have the T-Macs, the Mikes. LeBron really polished his game as his career went on. All these players, who Paul Pierce, like the list goes on, right? We've seen them. There's in the NBA today, there's a million of them. But I agree, that's a great take. Like those are maybe the skilled and effective players in scoring, but all kinds of ways to score in the NBA, right?
Yeah,
100%. Ishmael, yeah, I think you're right. What was your personal criteria if you had one there? I remember that was an ongoing thing.
I've made some changes about that. I go for the longevity aspect, so I do involve win shares, catch-all metric, but I don't like the fact that it doesn't value scoring enough. In my opinion, I think scoring is the most important aspect of the game. So I use win shares. So stats, win shares, career win shares, points per 100 possessions, scoring totals, and you have to win a championship. Well, I think that's important. I don't put Karl Malone in the conversation because he doesn't have really anything to back up. He doesn't have anything that to showcase the fact that all his production, through his efficiency and whatnot, he doesn't have anything that you can say that I've made a career to become a champion. So that's what I would say. That's my criteria, is basically the production of your career, how productive you are in your career, and how good you were in your production through those through the averages and the win shares. I keep it real simple, so it's basically the stats within how productive you are. I used to only do totals, but I do totals in that aspect, and I also use, like I said, points per 100 possessions, how efficient you are within those possessions as a scorer.
Points and efficiency. The most efficient scorer of all time is DeAndre Jordan. Is that how we doing it?
No, he's not. No, that's. Are you talking about? You're talking about true shooting percentage.
Field goal percentage, right? I mean, come on. We don't lose more percentage.
That's true shooting.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why. Well, look, he's getting the most points based on the shots that he takes, and that's what true shooting percentage measures, right? But of course, there's nuance to that. And the fact is, you think about a guy who's getting 80% of his shots off of lobs. He's not creating. He is created for, and that's where that's where nuance comes into the conversation. Again, criteria. There's a lot of different ways to look at the game. So again, I use the DeAndre Jordan talking point when it comes to the word efficiency, because that's not a word that I like. I don't think it was used before a certain era, really, before we started started the whole analytics led driven process of like designing offenses now. And I think that it's been good for the league, but it's also been to the detriment where everybody's playing copycat basketball. So there's a certain level of creativity that a great scorers,
Well, I also use totals, but I'm not using true shooting percentage. I'm using points per 100 possessions. And so even if there are players like Michael Jordan who's still ranked number 2 all time behind Joel Embiid, despite the fact that they didn't play in an era that is compared to the efficiency players play today. So even Kobe Bryant, I think, is number 6 or top 5 or something like that. And he wasn't the most, but it's the possessions. It's not the shooting. You know what I mean? And Danny Mac, I got Dirk over Larry Bird. I don't think Larry Bird's career is more productive than Dirk. So,
Dirk over Bird.
Oh my God! Do we have a debate? Do we have a debate here? Woo!
Yeah, I would love to see that debate.
Yeah, I keep it in the stats.
I got like 6 other white boys before Dirk enters the conversation.
I don't think I don't think that it's like. Obviously, I have Larry over, but I don't think that's a ridiculous debate to have because there's different things you could use. But I think that would be a fantastic debate.
Yeah. I don't measure the peak and stuff like that like crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like, I understand, like, if you're talking about peak conversations, Larry Bird will have it over Dirk Nowitzki, but I go for the sustained excellence the entirety of your career.
So, question. How would you debunk if I brought up the 3-peat MVP? How would you debunk that?
Well, I would have to basically say that I don't think MVP is more worthy than an entire career. I would think MVP is also a media award. So, I mean,
it was when Dirk won it, right? It was when Dirk won it, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't really measure MVPs like that. So it's like, what do you want?
So you would not use the MVP for Dirk, right? Is there a reason why you wouldn't use the MVP for Dirk?
Because like MVP criteria changes often throughout the history of the NBA. They're not consistent, and so I think that if they had a consistent criteria, then it would be, I think, more respectable. But it's not. Like, most awards in the NBA are not consistent. So it's like, how do you define that? Who's the real MVP? You know what I mean? Like, what is an MVP? You know? So it's just like,
who's the most valuable player? I will tell you MVP does have a consistent criteria. It's the best storyline towards what writers think, or collectively writers think, is the most valuable player. So it's really like everything, even the 6-man. Who's the best player off the bench? Well, it's a storyline towards who they think is the best, most productive player off the bench. A 6-man can be a great scorer. A 6-man could also be a great rebounder and defender off the bench. It has happened.
Steve Nash did not have the best story winning those MVPs. He did not have it better than Kobe.
Phoenix actually. So Phoenix had Stephon Marbury and the same team the year before Steve Nash signed as a free agent, right? And actually, because it was pretty much Stephon Marbury's salary being saved that enabled them to sign Steve Nash. Well, when the team actually goes from like a 42-win team to a damn near 60-win team, that was the storyline. They said, what's the difference? Steve Nash fits this team in this D'Antoni system a lot better. Therefore, they rewarded him with back-to-back MVPs based off that.
Another question to you there is, I guess, from Casual, where would you rank Jordan if he's not one for you?
I got him 3 or 4. Right near Will Chamberlain. I got LeBron, Kareem, then Jordan, Will over Jordan. So that's how it is.
There you go, Casual. But
I think his career. Jordan has longevity. His stats, his production, like, says that, you know, there's evidence to say that Jordan, even through his longevity, is top 3 all time. So.
I mean, yeah, like I said, it all comes down to like, pay attention, chat. It all comes down to how you, like we talked about at length here, how you rank them, what's important to you. But to segue, as we're kind of we're approaching All-Star Weekend, right? What do you guys, if you guys are paying attention to the league, right? Where do you guys see? I mean, just based on obviously the first half, who's coming out of the East? Who's coming out of the West? I mean, I think there's a lot of dark horses. I don't think any team is really consistently dominant. We've seen OKC kind of have struggles relative to at least last year a little bit recently. What do you guys think is going on like right now? Ish, kick us off.
It looks like they're falling off. Like they've been losing the games that they should have easily won.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Who's this, OKC?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've said this. Okay, first of all, as far as my finals, what I picked Knicks in Denver before the season. I see nothing unless injury, and the Denver's dealt with injury quite well. Unless injury changes that, I think it's still going to be Knicks in Denver. Now, OKC, I've said it. Say again?
Yeah, that's my finals too.
Yeah, OKC has never been an unbeatable juggernaut, in my opinion. Now they could very well get back there, but I do think Denver, if healthy, would probably beat them, especially based on the improvements they made to the roster. I think Denver would beat them probably in 6. That's just my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah, because Denver was. Okay, I'll get that go.
It's a lot going on in the NBA right now. Like in the East, like I just can't tell. I don't know what to say. I don't have any predictions. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. That's all I can say.
No, you're right, man. It is a lot right now. I think there's a lot of like. I don't want to say because I think it's a cop out. There's parity, but I think a lot of teams like had the seeds planted to be a lot better this year, and we saw that, right? Like, even if they're not like San Antonio, I don't think anyone would have predicted they would be this good this fast, as relative to who they're in the Western Conference against the champs, things like that. If they're healthy, I think that they can very well come out of the West, right? Based upon how they play OKC. We'll see if Denver can get back to being completely healthy. We'll see Jokic looked good, right? Like his first game back.
Yep.
But we'll see how there's Aaron Gordon, how he's dealing with. We'll see if Murray can, there's a lot of ifs, right? I still think it's going to be Denver, and initially I said Cleveland, but they're not the same team. People are up for them every night. My team.
How you like the trade, Travis? Did you like Cleveland? How'd you like the trade they made last night?
I mean,
Schroeder, yeah.
I just think that that's not wasn't really addressing their need, right? Like if you look,
I agree.
They're shooting across the board. They're shooting worse than they did last year. They're playing worse defense. So it's just they still have a great core, but we'll see. I still think at this point it probably is going to be the Knicks coming out.
Yeah, and look, parity is not a cop-out. I said it would, 10 toes down over here. I said it was going to be parity. I said this league was going to look like the 70s from 2019. I said the era of stacking a team and thinking it's going to win every season. We're not going to have back-to-back champions in this decade. 6 years in, if OKC gets knocked off, my prediction will look pretty good going into the rest of the decade. I think, as far as the trade, I think they did get a Darius Garland insurance policy, being that Darius Garland just stays injured. He's so good. He's so good. He's not the best point guard, but he's definitely a top level point guard. And Cleveland, it's either ankle or something is always happening to Mr. Garland. And I think come playoff time, I guess maybe they get a little bit more depth. I didn't think DeAndre Hunter was hitting for them the way I thought he would when they got him last year. And I really think when I was watching the Lakers game with Zaya the other night, I think he lost a step big time. So Cleveland's problem, and I said this on the stream, they don't have it. Where's their dog? Where's their bull? I know that Mitchell is a dog, and I know that Mobley is the defensive player of the year, but these guys are soft, bro. Look, everybody's pretty much soft. There's very few real tough guys, But you gotta have one guy that just. I just think they're skilled, but not. I think they got a soft underbelly, and I think they're gonna lose again in the second round.
Don't forget that the Bulls got Dario Saric out of that trade. The absolute goat.
Dario Saric.
Yeah, man. After this, my dad feels the same way about Kentucky. We don't have a dog either, and that's why we should win a lot more games than we are winning.
Yeah.
Well, at least you're not becoming a NBA factory anymore down there. You know what I mean? You're actually trying to build get a couple of guys that'll stay there a couple of years instead of changing the team every year. That's that hurts. That helps. So might be a year or two. Yeah, it might be a year or two before Kentucky gets back to Kentucky basketball. Because I didn't like. I mean, Calipari was producing pro after pro after pro, but he was never building anything there. You know what I mean? So. All these one and dones, they're like you can't build. Even my Duke levels had to figure that out. But so yeah, it's complicated. It's complicated. I think
he's a Duke fan, which Kentucky Duke has been rivals since '92.
Before that, brother. Before that. But yeah. 92, Laettner stepped on Timberlake's chest.
This season has been a negative season for me because this has been a season where I've actually seen more negatives for me than positives. It's just like a lot of things with the NBA, with the injuries, like players are so injured, the flopping. And I'm not even trying to sound like an old head, but a lot of it is just
embrace your inner old head. Embrace your inner old head,
bro. It's just really annoying. Like you can't ignore it. The flopping, the injuries, players are not playing as much, and then there's just too many teams that are not trying to win. Because what do you call it when an NBA team is trying to get a higher draft pick by losing? Tanking. Right. Like, bro, you clearly see that. It's like,
bro, how do you like my
right? I'm telling you,
bro. On Christmas Day, I subscribed to ESPN Plus. First of all, I subscribed to ESPN Plus, thinking, okay, I can watch the ABC games on Christmas Day. Oh no, ESPN Plus. No, you can't subscribe to ESPN Plus because you only get ESPN aired games. You don't get the whole ABC thing. So then I had to subscribe to ESPN. Spend another $10. I subscribed to League Pass, and I subscribed to Peacock. And then as soon as I did that, I got I'm like, bro, I don't like watching these games. I as a content creator, it's like, okay, if you're gonna talk about the games, let's all right.
Dude, you just have to subscribe to Buffalo Wild Wings and go there every day and get drunk.
No, hey. I don't Buffalo Wild Wings or Wingstop. Nope, I got an air fryer.
Oh, don't get their wings.
Hold on. Skip Buffalo Wild Wings. Get an air fryer and go to Costco or Sam's Club or what's the other one? BJ's. Trust me.
Well, yeah, I'm just talking about you go there for the game, not their wings. Their wings suck.
Oh, okay. Oh, you mean to watch the game? Oh, I got you. Oh shit, that's my inner fat boy.
Bro,
that's my inner fat boy.
Bro, how do you like my top 5 scores in the chat?
Top 5 scores? Go for it.
It's in my chat right there.
Let's see. I don't see it.
Top 5 scores of all time. KD and Kobe, Mike. KD, Kobe, Mike, Melo.
KD, Kobe, Mike, Melo?
Who's my last one? Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony could have. Wait. I can make a case that Carmelo Anthony is the greatest scorer of all time. Because again, when I look at it, great scoring. Hold on. What I look at as the great scorer is the variety of ways in which you score. I don't think any of the three have that post-up bully ball game like Carmelo Anthony. Okay.
Bro,
Right.
you
Again,
must enjoy jab
I like
step
unblockable.
at
I
the
like
corner of the
unguardability.
You,
No, I
you
like
jab step,
unguardability.
Well, he can certainly be guarded.
bro.
Yeah.
More inefficient shot chucking. Okay.
Inefficient shot
Personally, I
checking.
think
But your
personally, I think
favorite
it's
defender. Hold on. But your favorite defender will tell you when you ask, who did you have the worst time guarding? Bron Artest, Bruce Bowen, a bunch of these guys with multiple All-NBA defensive selections to their name will tell you Carmelo Anthony. I would have rather guarded Kobe tonight than guard Carmelo Anthony. So again, I'm not just looking at I'm not looking at efficiency. I'm looking at the whole variety of it. See, that's what I'm saying. We got a lot of times people will have different things that they look at. You know what I mean?
KD the GOAT.
Did Carmelo even average 30 one time?
I believe no, he never did. He never did. Well, again, he wasn't. Wait, he wasn't. That means he wasn't a shot chucker. Maybe if he took more shots, he would have averaged 30. I'm just saying.
But he was definitely a shot.
Wait. He took less shots. He took fewer shots than LeBron James, a fast first player. That's amazing.
Yeah, that doesn't.
Even,
Yeah, well,
even if you lined up peak for peak, even if you line, because I understand Melo came off the bench a couple of years. Even if you line up the peak years, LeBron James took more shots per season per game.
Yeah, but he scored more and was more efficient, though, man. Like,
scored more and more efficient, but again, against the same competition, Bruce Bowen locked the guy up for 4 for 16 in the finals game.
Like Carmelo's highest points in the playoffs is 30 points a game, and that's only with six.
So it's all about quantity. It's all about quantity over quality for you, right? Right,
bro. That's not even quality though. That's not even
you think it is, because again, you know what? You think missed shots is a detriment to true scoring. And again,
you really think Carmelo Anthony's scoring skill is so great that it projects him to a top 5 scorer of all time?
Bro,
better than
there are only 10 players in league history who've led a team in scoring for at least 10 years consecutively. Not consecutively, but 10 years at all. At a 50% clip or better. Melo is not one of those players.
Okay. Melo was never going to shoot 50%. I don't think shooting 50% is a prelude to being a great scorer. See, again, if that's the case, then the greatest scorer of all time should be Shaq, right? Isn't he shooting? Isn't he averaging 30?
No, bro, nobody's saying that.
Shaq is the greatest scorer of all time.
See what I mean? You see what I mean? But this is where, hold on, Ish, this is where bias over consistency. If you're not going to be consistent, then you got to tell me Shaq is a great scorer.
That's not even my criteria though. That's like.
But you brought up the 50%. You brought up the shooting percentage.
That was Travis. Travis did that.
Okay, well, you're right. But efficiency is part of shooting percentage is part of efficiency, and when you bring up efficiency, that's going to all encompass all of that. So again, Shaq should be in your list if that's what you're talking about. See, I'm looking at the art of scoring. I'm looking at the art of scoring. I'm looking at the way. How many ways can I use you? How much are you using for others?
My top 5 is in Rose Chat. It's the last, as far as I know, this is the last message.
Jordan, Kobe, Will.
Put it back up, Dakota.
What my top 5 great scorers is in Rose Chat.
Oh, I see it now. Oh, you're D'Artagnan. Okay. A daughter like this, he got Mike in there.
Mike, yeah.
Are you sucking up to Dart, Dakota?
Yes.
Are you sucking up to Dart, Dakota? Is that what you're doing?
I want to. Hey, I want to get this popping on. Ish, would you want to debate Roe on the greater scoring topic here at some point?
No, I want no. Don't let him off the hook. I want Dirk versus Larry Joe. That's what I want. I want the big German.
Would you be down for that?
Versus the Hick from French Lick. That's what I want.
Dirk Nowitzki versus Larry Bird.
Who's greater?
Yes, that's what I want. Don't let him off the hook. Don't let him off the hook.
Yeah, sure, man. Sure.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
that would be a great
the greatest shooting big man of all time versus The hick from French Lake. We got this. Let's go.
The hick from French Lake. Wow. I will tune that up for next weekend. Ish, would you be available?
I don't know next week. I have to check my schedule. I'm going to.
All right, cool. Anytime.
That's it. Yeah. We'll work around whatever you have to do, but yeah, just let me know either way. But that'll be fun. I have to take down Herm next weekend because we had to postpone that. So I've got to give him the business.
Yeah, and remember, we can also do we can always do special edition Thursday night shows or something like that. Just let me know. I can always remember. One of these days I got to host a debunk. Travis, you know what I'm saying? Like, get these
host the bug next week.
These shows are fun, bro. I ain't gonna lie. These shows are fun. We're joking. We're joking and serious at the same time. Like, yeah, man, come on, we got to do this. We got to keep our content lighthearted. You know what I'm saying? It's not always, we're not talking stocks and bonds here, man. We're talking.
As long as our show doesn't drift into the waters that are like, hey, our show is only going to be about one player. We like that player. This other player sucks like ass. We're never going to do that. Right?
Exactly.
And we don't duck debates too.
Yeah.
Hey, Sub and King Shy, who ducked two yesterday, huh? I heard he ducked sports and he ducked Robin, man.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Damn.
I legit called him out for being on joking for Robin modding him. I don't know why he did. I mean, he told me why he did because he didn't know. But hopefully he's got unmodded now.
Well, maybe he got orders. I don't know. Maybe he got orders like, hey, stand down. We don't want one of our guys taking money into L. You're not. Hey, young
Chris. To see why he ducked, but
only like time out if he's doing something crazy. That's the only thing I time out people when they're like acting crazy or spamming.
All I know is he didn't respond, and he was on the docket to give that smoke with King Rowe.
Yeah, I saw him yesterday too. I saw him around. I saw him at the time. I didn't see him on TikTok, but I wound up seeing him somewhere. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, that's how they do it. All right. I mean, hey, I don't take it personally. You can delay the ass whooping as long as you want, bro. So don't take it personally when belt comes out, because I might, when the belt comes out and it's belt to ass time, I might have a nice sharpened leather big strap for you. Shout out to Zay. I wouldn't do that just yet.
Hey, I'm trying to lure Casual out of retirement so we can give him more smoke.
Oh yeah, what up with Casual? What up, Kaz? I see your comments.
Yo, Ro, I might give you my Nike belt to use.
Do it. If you're saying Duncan in top 5 for greatest, sure, might agree, but a score top 5 greatest scorer, Duncan, no, definitely not. I don't see how you can make that argument.
Would Magic be one of those? Would Magic be a greatest scorer?
Greatest score, greatest score of all time? No. I mean, I don't see how you can greatest passer, sure, but I mean, the greatest scorers of all time. At some point, you have to use some objective reality, right? And so those Magic's not going to approach anything that qualifies him, not totals, not points per game, not peak as far as the points go, right? Other things, sure, but when you look at, there's a handful of people who really you can knock around to have the greatest scorer of all time to be. But I mean, Magic was a capable scorer, especially in his later years, right? 100%. But
you scored 42 points in your rookie year. Wait, you scored 42 points in your rookie year at age 20, win an NBA championship with Dr. J on the court. Mm-hmm. And you tell me this man can't score? See, again, now, and again, I'm going to drop off real quick. It was another great show, Trav.
For sure.
This Magic versus Curry thing, I mean, I've even heard some crazy names that are Magic. You guys need to understand, Magic is without a doubt a consistent top 10 player. I think you're crazy if you don't have him in your top 5. If you don't have him in your top 5, but if you have him outside your top 10, And Curry? No, bro, no. Curry is great. Wait,
I have
if
Curry
you're
higher
going to
than
use Tragic Johnson, hold on. If you're going to use Tragic Johnson, right? Hold on.
I mean,
But I'm going to say this. I'm going to again warning for those that use them. Anybody wants to debate me on Magic versus Curry or whatever, I'm going to warn you right now. You use Tragic Johnson, right, where he dribbled the clock out.
Trash.
Well, actually, he dribbled, and then it was like 1 or 2 seconds ago. Okay, the game went to overtime, and that's where they lost. Curry in Game 7, after having a perfect regular season, had 16 points and 2 assists. Trump card, period. Like, you go on one moment versus having one of the worst drop-off Game 7s in NBA history. Go ahead. Good luck overcoming that obstacle. Saying.
Hey, I have Magic at 7, so that's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
Magic's in my top 10 too.
Yeah, Curry's not in mine. Curry needs another ring, and then maybe I'll consider him for the top 10. But Curry's great. But Magic Johnson, hell no.
Curry's in mine, but that's because I leave Shaq and Braun.
Matter of fact, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. Again, this is no knock to Curry. Curry's a wonderful player, wonderful person, right? Well, Curry is like one of the best guys in the NBA. Like, there's nothing to dislike about him. But give me that Curry finals, just like lights out performance where he carried his team. Again, Magic did it as a rookie, guys. As a rookie. Just saying. I understand it was a great team around him. And that was Magic's job. So unlock the greatness of the players around him. That's the greatness of Magic Johnson.
He had one good game.
No, he had more than one good game, sir. That was like Magic had a lot. First of all, Magic played in 9 finals. If you're gonna sit there and tell me Magic had one good game in the 9 NBA finals he played, you're out of your mind.
He carried as a rookie. He had that fantastic game. Kareem was averaging like 33 and 15 that series.
But see, this is what I'm saying. Remember the teammate tax thing I told you about, Travis. I'm not gonna. I'm just saying, Kareem wasn't there, but Magic carried Kareem as he was older, right? Again, I don't like the carry word, but you know what I mean.
Sure.
Magic had a lot of. Again, doesn't Magic have like 20 assists in an NBA Finals game? Or I know he had 20 assists in a few playoff games. Like Magic was just terrific.
I've always said that Kareem, in my opinion, has had the most help in league history, as far as championship wins.
What if I tell you that Klay Thompson has more marquee God-like performances in the playoffs than Curry does? And again, I'm not trying to knock the guy, but this idea that he's the GOAT he's the GOAT point guard based on 4 championships in the Golden State Warriors era. I mean, I don't teammate tax, but I need to understand how Curry, who's not even the best playmaker on his team, is a better point guard than Magic Johnson. I'm sorry, guys.
I think you hate Curry.
No, I love Curry. I just said he's one of the most wonderful human beings in the NBA. Like, there's nothing to dislike about this guy.
I got Curry over Magic. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's say
wild. It's wild. Absolutely wild.
Not that wild. People been making the argument for a minute now. Just like
and you can't debunk anything I said though. 16 and 2, 16 points, 2 assists in a game 7. Go.
So I mean, why would I debunk that? Like,
I've got
argument. I don't really care about that.
I've got Magic 4.
That's the bias. So we're not going to tax guys for severely underperforming in the most important game of the season. I got you. That's the bias.
I don't tax players for underperforming. Like if they're like Curry's career speaks for itself that he played more great games than actually underperforming. So I don't. Like,
true.
I don't see.
No, that's true. But again, people will say, "Oh, Tragic Johnson."
I don't.
Again, it was one moment. Tragic Johnson was a one moment where he forgot the clock. He didn't know, that's just like even J.R. Smith. He forgot to score. But J.R. Smith was killing it in the finals a couple of years ago. And he was I
try to keep my perspective as objective as I can. And so it's normally going to be through the numbers and stuff. I don't care for the moments and whatnot. The moments is just everything. That's my biases. I wasn't around for every moment, so how can I like go based off of that?
That's true.
Like,
That's true. But remember when it comes to moments, though. Remember when it comes to moments. Jerry West, the logo, the late great Jerry West said this: 5 plays go the other way, and I have 5 NBA championships. 4 plays go the other way, and I have 5 NBA championships instead of 1. And sometimes that's the big deal between winning and losing. Like, and that's a fact. Like, a couple of plays go the other way, and you know, Real would have a couple of less championships, and the Lakers would have won a couple of those years. But that's how it goes. Sometimes moments really matter. But it's not everything. You're right. It's not everything.
The Eternal Basketball Family says Magic Johnson, mid-free throw ball. He is not even a top 30 all-time player.
What?
Who said that?
Who in the hell said that?
Where it says top 30 though? He didn't say that, Travis. He didn't say that.
His top 30 is just 29 LeBrons in Magic.
I've got Magic 4 and Curry 9.
You got Magic number 4 all time?
4?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like how? Like that don't even make any sense. Like, bro.
Wait.
So it makes sense for Duncan to be, because he's the greatest. But if you make the point of Magic being the greatest point guard, and you have him 4th, 9 finals runs in 12 years, 5 NBA championships, 3 MVPs, that's a problem. I hear you. I hear you.
No.
All right, guys, I'm out. I'll catch y'all later.
All right, we'll let you up.
I got Duncan 10, so.
That's fair. I mean, obviously, we're all going to have the same guys pretty much. It's just the order, right? I have Curry at 10, right? But I mean, I have Magic at 7, and I have guys like I have Tim Duncan and Hakeem Olajuwon on my top 5. You know, right now my top 5 is Braun, Mike, Kareem, Duncan, and Hakeem, right? But you know, it's all just about what you value. So, but I have Kobe in my top 10 too. So, you know, a lot of people don't.
Certain people on the list.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, we've been setting up. Oh, good. Sorry, man.
That list is just like that makes no sense. Like they had him as the top, as the number 1 in the 2000s, and they put him out of the top 10. And that makes no sense.
Well, this is a great crowd we had, actually, guys. And Danny Mac, all you guys in there, Woodage, Eternal, Danny Mac, Rap God, all you guys, we want you guys to do what Ishmael is. Come on the show. Chop it up with us. Agree to have debates. We will plug you into our debate system, right? Instead of just like, it's been, we believe me, we have some variety, right? We have some parody. But I want to debate different people, right? They want to debate different people. We want fresh perspectives in here, fresh topics. And so we got to get everyone in here. It'll be so fun. And like I said, you guys have a safe space so you don't have to worry about, we're not going to trash your favorite play. You guys can say whatever you want. We have open discussions like this every single week. And it's fun, right? We don't have to, you don't have to worry about getting put on the spot or clipped up, whatever. But with that being said, this is episode 4 officially of Debunked, where it follows the debate day, right? And today we talked about, hey, what was your criteria? What does it look like? Chop that up a little bit. But we're going to cut it out, and I'm going to let my boys here have the final word taken around and whatever they want to say. Go ahead, Ishmael.
Appreciate you guys having me here. We'll be showing up as much as I can. This was pretty fun and everything, and that's all I have to say. Yeah, just everybody take care and have a good one.
Awesome. DLB?
Yeah, I just hope everyone has a good rest of the Sunday.
Awesome.
Yeah, peace.
Perfect. Well, you heard them, guys. You guys have a great rest of your Sunday. They joined us here, chopped it up, added to the game, added to the stream, and we covered everything that, again, we'll have another fresh episode of Debunked next week. And along with, again, you're what you come here for. We know the actual scintillating debates. Okay, for sure, myself and Herm will be going at it this weekend, and the others are going to be TBD. We'll find out exactly what's going down, and we'll let you guys know. And you guys, by any means, contact any of us, right? If you guys want in on that debate smoke, that debate round robin, let us know, okay? And we will set you guys up, and it will be awesome. We'll put you on live, and we'll see who's the best of the best, all right? So with that being said, thank you, everyone who joined up. Again, tell all our friends, like and subscribe to Lights Out, please, all right? And King's Speech Row. Like and subscribe, tell everyone about it. Tell them we're the new debate game in town. And again, you can bring it. Everyone wants to smoke. It's going to be lots of fun. Okay. So have a great weekend, guys, and we'll see you next time.